Hey guys, welcome back to an interesting video on Wild Rift. They're back with a Vayne updated complete guide for patch 5.3. And honestly, not too much has changed, but before we really hop into the details, of course, don't forget to check out Vayne's basic guide. I'll put them in the cards above for her skills, the order tips and tricks, as well as some combos. But let's get into the items, the runes, and the spells. So as I said, not too much has changed. We're gonna start off. Personally, I like to start off with the Gluttonous Greaves for the Omnivamp and the attack damage, but you can also start off with the attack speed boots, the Berserker's Greaves instead. That works very well as well to get the early game attack speed to proc your passive more often. Then your core 3 items are pretty much gonna be these three pretty much every game. So we're gonna start off with the Bork. Bork, of course, gives you a little bit of AD, attack speed, the physical vamp, and of course you get the current health damage on hit, as well as the Ruin Strikes burst passive. And then of course you go for Terminus, which gives you AD attack speed, magic damage on hit, as well as stacking resistances, as well as stacking penetration. And then we have Wit's End, magic resist, attack speed, as well as a little bit of healing when you're below half HP. Now that's pretty much the core of Vayne's build. Now even when there isn't any magic damage, you generally go for this, because the alternative for like attack speed is actually going to be something like, for example, Nash's Tooth or Phantom Dancer. But honestly, Nash's Tooth does give you the same amount of attack speed, but honestly getting the healing from Wit's End is just better than getting Nash's Tooth like magic damage on hit. And Phantom Dancer can work pretty well as a replacement for Wit's End, but Wit's End again gives you healing, which is just infinitely more helpful than those two. And after you get these 3 items is generally when you want to swap out boots, because by the time you reach these 3 items, you have enough attack speed, you have enough healing, from your Bork, from your Wit's End. So you generally want to swap the Gluttonous Greaves to defensive boots at this point, and then you go into your last 2 items. So last 2 items are actually completely variable. Now, I personally like to go for Amaranth Twin Guard as my 4th item for majority of my games. Gives me armor and magic resist, because generally by this point in time, you're going to have more than enough damage from your first 3 items. But what you really need is survivability, because here, in this situation, you're going to be up close and personal with the enemy considering your low range. And as such, you want to get some defensive capabilities. And in the same vein, pun not intended, we're gonna go for a shield bow as the last item. Gives you pretty nice stats, as well as that lifeline shield that of course now no longer scales with crit, so you're gonna get the full value from that. Other options for your last couple items is, for example, you could go for Steric's Gauge instead, because it gives you health, and health is of course a really good tanky stat, especially when you combine it with defenses. So Steric's Gauge is a really solid option as well. Full damage is going to be something like this instead. Like you could go for Triforce and then into Bloodthirster for full damage, sending it to the enemy team kind of build. But basically a mix and match of these items. You could even go for something like Twin Guard and then Bloodthirster last item, or some other kind of combo like this. Anything pretty much works for your last couple of items. It's pretty much just up to you what you prefer, something like this as well. And for the runes, of course, we have Lethal Temper for the attack speed, Brutal because you are going to auto attack a lot, and Giant Slayer all of the time because you're only going to pick Vayne into tanks. And here I like to go for Bloodline because I have a lot of attack speed from my first 3 items already, so I don't need any more here. And Bone Plating, of course, for the defenses. And then for the spells, Flash as well as Ghost 100% of the time. No point taking Exhaust on Vayne. Vayne does true damage anyway, so if you get exhausted and you don't have Exhaust for them, it's fine. Ghost is just better, just to kite around fights. But with all that said, let's hop into our gameplay. Okay, so now we're getting into the gameplay itself. Of course, before we really get into it, as usual, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Any questions, queries, or remarks, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I will of course be sure to address them. Okay, so first things first. Now I say this in basically all of my Vayne videos, and generally I realized the trend, like now that we're at patch 5.3, we're pretty much at the start of patch 5.3. I make a Vayne video. When we got to the start of patch 5.2, I also made a Vayne video, and at the start of patch 5.1, I also made a Vayne video. So I tend to make Vayne videos at the start of the season for some reason. But yeah, so I say this in all of the Vayne videos. Basically, you never want to play Vayne unless you're against at least minimum 3 tanks / tanky characters. So in this game, that would be Alistar, Mordekaiser, as well as Shyvana. Now, why do I say that? Well, basically because if there are, like for example, 2 tanks or only one tank on the enemy team, there are going to be so many better options. Now, why? Because on-hit builds are actually very, very popular right now. So you have like on-hit Varus, on-hit Kai'Sa, even on-hit Caitlyn and Zeri, which wasn't really a thing like 2 months ago, but now the on-hit builds have become so popular that you start having weird champions building on-hit. And you know, situations like this, Ashe, you have so many on-hit options who can build Terminus into like Bork into like Runans, for example. And these champions are not just amazing at killing tanks, they're also amazing at just killing people, like killing squishies in general, just because these champions are really strong. Like Kai'Sa's strong, Varus strong, Ashe is strong, Caitlyn is really strong, Zeri's pretty strong as well, compared to Vayne at least. So Vayne, I think, is a little bit on the weaker side. Now the only exception to this rule is if you have like a Zeri, if you have a Lulu or Yuumi, for example, Vayne could be really good because she is a very strong hyper carry. Now here, Alistar oversteps, gets run down by us, Condemn goes in onto the Jinx. Jinx 1 HP, has to flash because if not I proc my silver bolts and I kill her. So really nice start to the game. Now honestly, just looking at this gameplay, it's kind of obvious that Alistar is not the most experienced player. He first tries to repeatedly engage when Jinx really doesn't want to fight early against Vayne. Like Jinx just wants to farm, she wants to scale, but Alistar is trying to force fights and Jinx not really following up. Alistar doesn't get the message, continues to force fights until eventually he gets chunked down, he gets overextended, and he does just end up dying. And what you're going to see now is a huge change in behavior from Alistar. Now from engaging non-stop, Alistar is now going to become really, really scared of us, and he's not going to engage at all. So that is a telltale sign that Alistar is not the most experienced player. I mean, we are at the start of the season, and as such, we're now, I believe this game was when I was in Plat 1, because the season just reset, of course. So maybe, you know, the Alistar may not be a very experienced player. Hard to tell when it's at the start of the season, because even some experienced players cop a huge number of losses at the start. Some people just win non-stop at the start, so it kind of takes like maybe a couple of weeks for it to kind of even out. So yeah, start season shenanigans, really common. Here, both junglers have come to our lane, kind of to gank, or in Shyvana's case, she's farming the Krugs, I believe. Lee Sin decides to go in kind of 1v3. Nami ult hits Alistar. We don't want to overcommit into their jungle. We did, however, force the Shyvana ult in trade for the Nami ult. And that is definitely worth it, because Shyvana takes a long time to charge up her ult bar. She has to auto attack a lot, so having that ult on cooldown is just going to be great in general. Means that she is probably not going to gank us anytime soon. If she does, she wouldn't have ult, which is basically makes the threat level really low. And yeah, so it's a pretty good situation all around. We are still kind of maintaining the pressure onto the Jinx and the Alistar. Alistar is pretty easy to bully. The only thing you really have to respect is the fact he can snap on you and engage. And honestly, with a Jinx combo, you could go the Alistar hit that pulverize combo into the Jinx traps, and you could be trapped there for a long while. So you definitely want to be a little bit cautious when it comes to that. So here, I came back and get a recurve bow, and I was full health, full mana, but honestly there's no point not resetting. I guess, I mean, we could try to just bully them and make them stay in lane, but my opinion, there was no reason not to reset, because we did have a really nice window there to reset and get back to lane. Now Alistar here, yeah, you can see he just flashes away. Like, it's not like I was gonna kill him. I mean, yes, I could pop my ulti and my ghost and run him down. I probably would get the kill, but considering Dragon and Herald coming up, I'm not too excited about wasting all my cooldowns, not wasting, but spending all my cooldowns on killing him. So don't think he needed to flash there, but you can see that, as I mentioned just now, he becomes incredibly scared of us. Now here we have the turret taker. Alistar now gets caught, gets condemned, and honestly here, the only reason why I kill him is because I'm Vayne. Like, he pops the ult, but Vayne does true damage, so the ult does not matter. Like, he is actually super squishy because of the fact that he's against a Vayne, and if I was literally any other ADC, there's no world which I kill him there. Now Jinx is having a Blade of the Room King for some reason. My team is not particularly tanky, but she does have a Blade of the Room King, and she is unloading onto the Nami with it, and does actually scare us off. Now the enemy team picks up the Mimics. I have a Blade of the Room King of my own, which is of course a common first item for Vayne, but not Jinx. So we are matching her Blade of the Room King purchase. The only reason why she managed to get her first item before us is because she actually skipped boots completely, so she has no boots. She only has a Bork. which I don't know about that one. Now here Alistar gets caught. We're getting a pretty decent chunk on him. Now we're actually going to run him down with the ulti, run him down, and now Jinx is also caught. We condemn her into the wall, and we actually tumble the wrong way, so we actually are forced to flash, which is a little bit of a mistake, a little bit of a wasted flash there, but we do secure the kill onto the both of them. And as a result, we have the ability to simply rotate to the dragon. We should be fine. Now Shyvana is probably the one hitting that Squire's Bloom, and we actually pull the dragon out a little bit. I have my condemn at the ready. Shyvana hops over, we condemn her into the wall. She has no ult to get out. She does have no flash. Actually, her flash is like a few seconds cooldown away from being back up. Doesn't have it. Now I see Alistar like walking back to the lane. We know the only person who could be behind him is Jinx, and we're not too scared of them, so I'm actually running the Alistar down here. Jinx not even caring about protecting the Alistar, and given his performance, I can't blame her. Wave is accruing here. We want to pick up the minions. And Alistar is stepping up for some reason. I'm not sure why, but he pops the ulti, gets bubbled again. We're going to walk around the Jinx traps, trying to finish off the kill on Alistar. 1 HP, he survives. Fortunately, Nami survives as well. Now Jinx actually gets baited by the 1 HP Nami and actually pays the price for it with her life, and we actually kill the Jinx instead of the Alistar, which I would take any day of the week, bringing us to a scoreline of 6-0 with 7k gold in about 7 minutes. Mordekaiser comes over, none of my concern. I'm gonna back. I'm actually gonna pick up the recurve bow into the longsword here instead of the BF sword, because attack speed is way more important on Vayne, and we all know Vayne got that adjustment, I guess you could call it, where she loses base AD but she gets attack speed per level. And in my opinion, that is a more of a buff than a nerf to Vayne, because Vayne likes attack speed. Losing a bit of attack damage still hurts in the early game though. So that is the thing. So here, Mordekaiser gets caught, Alistar gets caught as well. We're just unloading onto them, proccing the silver bolts. Now Jinx has joined the party. I'm going to step back so I don't get rooted on the traps. And here, Mordekaiser ults me. So here I'm in the Mordekaiser ult. Of course, in the replay too, you can't really see that, but here I'm running him down. He pops the Sterix, unfortunately, and now I'm out of the Mordekaiser. Unfortunately, I come out just to get comboed by Alistar and then killed by him as well. Now, the only good news of this is, number one, Alistar got the shutdown, not Jinx or Mordekaiser, so that's not too bad, because of course Alistar getting the shutdown is not a very big deal, honestly, especially not to me. And the other good news is the fact that we know we can kill Mordekaiser 1v1 in the realm. Now, there's not a lot of ADCs that can actually 1v1 Mordekaiser in the death realm, but Vayne is one of them. So Vayne is a soft counter to Mordekaiser, because most of the time you can kite him out, dodge his pull, and just win against him in general in the death realm. So that's one of the strengths of the Vayne versus Mordekaiser matchup. And unfortunately for them, Mordekaiser and Alistar both are building Heartsteel. Now, Heartsteel, of course, is health. And of course, what do we have? We have Giant Slayer, we have Blade of the Moon King, and we also have True Damage. So it's not going to be very effective against us. Now, Engage comes in from Nami. I'm trying to hit Vayne, but it's not really working, so I'm going to have to back out a little bit. Lee Sin finishes off the kill. Alistar is now in a little bit of trouble. Lee Sin running him down, and I'm going to be able to finish him off here. He actually resets his bounty because he killed me just now, so I actually get the full 300 gold on him now. Ziggs is hurting. Shyvana's hopping in. We condemn her away after she becomes, after her unstoppable finishes. We don't want to condemn her when she's unstoppable, because that would be a waste, and it would mean that we don't actually push her away from us. So here we are going to reset, complete our Terminus. Of course, Terminus is an insane item for Vayne, gives you the AD and attack speed, but also the stacking resistances are amazing. When it comes to just staying alive in fights, you know, when you're playing an ADC, every little bit of resistance you can get is going to be important, because ADCs have really little resistance, and just getting a little bit of resistance is going to help you to survive a lot longer, and that's exactly what we're doing with the Terminus and also building the Wit's End. Of course, we're going to change our Gluttonous Greaves to probably the Armor Boots a little bit later on. Now here, Alistar flashes away from Nami. Like, he's gone from wanting to engage on us non-stop to literally being scared of his own shadow. Here we're trying to look for a fight. Here, unfortunately, I get comboed, but I'm gonna flash out. Locket comes in from Nami. Now I'm focusing the first target, which is Alistar. Now Jinx gets caught out of position. I'm able to get the kill on her. But there's an enemy Ziggs, and we are all relatively low, so we don't really want to continue the fight here. Shyvana was actually on a flank, which could have been dangerous, but she actually decided not to go for it. She decides again, instead to go onto the Pantheon, and now we're hitting her. But we are getting zoned away by the Ziggs bombs, which Lee Sin literally walks into all of them. And the dragon is up, which is an objective bounty for the enemy team, and we also don't want to give it to Shyvana. However, Lee Sin decides to go to the other side of the map to pick up red buff, which is why I'm recalling here, because there's literally no point in hanging around. I literally recall and just get a dagger, but there's nothing to do if I hang around, and I don't really want to contest the dragon without my jungler. So now my jungler is here, and I'm almost there as well. Enemy team does pick up the dragon. However, it looks like we might be able to have some stake here with the kill on Alistar. Unfortunately, Alistar hits a nice amount of CC. Lee Sin's not able to get him. So instead of chasing him, I mean, I could chase him with my ult and my ghost, but I really don't think it's worth it. So instead, I'm just gonna actually go for the mid lane wave, which I think is, you know, just guaranteed goal. Enemy team not doing too hot. My team as a whole is doing really well when you compare them to their counterparts, except maybe Pantheon, who's slightly behind, but you know, can't have everything. Here Mordekaiser is stepping up, but as we know, I can kill him in the Death Realm. I've only gotten more fed ever since he pulled me in the last time, so I'm not scared of him whatsoever. In fact, if he ults me, it's actually a detriment to him, because I'm probably going to be able to actually kill him instead of him killing me. The only bad news of that is he's actually going to pull me out of the fight, which means that I'm not able to help my team out with the fight whatsoever, if he does so. Speaking of a fight, looks like a fight might break out right here with everyone kind of just hovering around. Looks like a fight might have started, but turns out it doesn't. It does make sense though, because the two enemy carries are actually both in the top lane. So if they start a fight there, it's gonna be like the tanky chaps instead of the actual damage dealers. So yeah, they definitely didn't want to fight there. So here I'm trying to just run down the Alistar. Like, look at the true damage with the Bork here. I get, you know, 3 rotations in, and I actually thought that would kill him with the red buff as well, but he actually survives on like 1 HP, so unfortunately didn't quite get the kill on him. Now here Mordekaiser actually ults me in, here I believe, so here I'm just 1v1ing the Mordekaiser. He's actually kind of almost killing me. I'm stepping into his passive, which I don't want, so I actually have to flash out to be able to kill him, which I do eventually get him. In the meantime, my team is able to pick up the kill on Shyvana, and this allows us to pick up the Baron with 3 members of the enemy team dead and only the bot lane alive. The bot lane not very useful in the current state. Jinx also now has gone for a shield bow, which is a very defensive option. Now I spot a huge wave in the bot lane as I was about to recall, and I'm going to head over there and collect it. Pantheon really nice to give me the wave, thanks for that one. And here we're going to push out the wave first and then reset. Now the issue, mini issue with that is that we are desynced from our team. So yeah, we are gonna pick up the Wit's End and we're gonna change into Armor Boots. Of course, Armor Boots is really effective against the entire enemy team except the Ziggs, but we already have a Wit's End to cover that. So when we go for Twin Guard later, it's gonna be all the more useful because it's gonna actually amplify our resistances from our Wit's End as well as our Armor Boots. So now we're gonna begin to run down mid, letting the minions tank the Ziggs damage, making sure to avoid the Ziggs ulti as well. Mordekaiser is the first target, however, he decides to ult the Nami. Nami escapes the ult, and Brand hits his passive onto everybody. Jinx's shield bow pops, and Jinx is able to survive because of the shield bow, but maybe not for long. Here we actually run on the minion, so we're actually tanking the tower. Everybody steps out, takes a lot of damage from tower shots, which is not very ideal, and we're going to eventually able to get the tower. Now, I'm not sure what Lee Sin was ulting there as the T-Hex. And now we're going to pick up the mid lane tower as well. So with that, you know, now it's time to take our leave. Maybe we're going to go over to the bottom lane to get the wave there and also push in the tower there. T-Hex is headed towards the wave, clearing the wave with the charge. Actually gets the whole wave relatively easily. 1 HP on the T-Hex. TX has ult again, is gonna actually ult the tower. Alistar actually comes in and engages on me. However, I do true damage, so I think he's gonna have to run away. Does actually run away eventually. We focus the tower now, get the tower. We have ult, but we're not gonna pop it because all we really wanted was the tower. We don't really want to actually fight. Lee Sin on the 1 HP TX does expire. I guess what Shyvana taking the blue buff. Now I don't want to let her have it for free, so here we're contesting it. We actually go in. She actually goes in 1v4 and kills Nami, so she does get a 1-for-1 trade. So that is, I would say that's a win for Shyvana, because if I was Shyvana, I would actually just be running away immediately. I'm not sure why she engaged 1v4, but she was able to get a kill for it, which is, I guess, not too bad. So now we're actually building towards Twin Guard, and in the meantime, Dragon is being done by my Lee Sin. I don't really think he needs help because we have 3 people on Dragon right now. I'm just going to hit over, contribute 1 auto attack just for the funsies, and now I'm going to hit back to mid and start clearing out the mid lane. Ziggs is here, and honestly Ziggs is like 2 and 6, but he hurts. Like, yeah, that just shows you how much damage Ziggs actually does, but yeah, he hurts, and I'm not too eager to eat his damage. Shyvana is the most fed member of their team, but she's not really too big of a threat to us. We can kind of kite her out and also, you know, help to shred her down in terms of health. So here, we have multiple people in the mid lane. Ziggs hits the ulti, doesn't do too much damage because we did have bone plating here. The Baron is about to spawn. Not sure if we want to go for it immediately. We are going for a pick on Mordekaiser. Actually, honestly, I think we probably should just start it off Baron because Shyvana is on the wrong side of the map and we have like 4 people here at the Baron pit. So I think starting off Baron would be ideal. Mordekaiser's recall gets interrupted. Mordekaiser decides to ult Lee Sin because he wants a 1v1, of course. Lee Sin hops back out. Mordekaiser's ult expires. I condemn him into the wall right as he flashes over into the alcove. And he does end up going down. Now, Baron is definitely on the cards. Shyvana hops over. And we are able to basically just one-shot her. Alistar as well. I'm not sure what they're doing. Alistar goes down. Only the 2 carries on the enemy team are left. Obviously, if I were them, I wouldn't be coming into the Baron to contest it. I might toss a Ziggs ulti into the pit. But aside from that, they can't really do anything. We are able to pick up the Baron. Second Baron of the game for us. And now we're going to hit over here. We're actually very close to getting Twin Guard, which is why we're actually coming over here to just get the last bit of gold for Twin Guard, instead of actually resetting, which again desinks us from our team. But we are hoping to quickly get the Twin Guard goal, which we got right here, and then just, yeah, push out the wave. Don't leave it there. Syncing it up a little bit with the mid wave, and here we get Twin Guard. We're running down mid to try to join our team. We also have a Stasis, because QSS obviously is not of much use in this game, so Stasis might be able to help me buy time if, for example, I'm in Mordekaiser's ult, or like, you know, Ziggs ultis me and I can't escape, you know, situations like those. So now I'm trying to join up with my team. Shyvana is the first target. I pop the ulti, I'm shredding down the Shyvana. Bran gets the kill, I get the reset. Not exactly reset, a duration extension, I guess you could say. Bran picks up another kill. We're now focusing the Alistar. We get the kill on him, go godlike. And now we're just going to finish off the base right here, right now. There we have it. We pick up the dub in this one. And I'm going to leave you guys with the stats as usual. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and goodbye.